Hi class, still on chapter 14. Today we're going to talk about executing a retail market strategy. So what that really details is defining a target mix, a target market, and choosing the retailing mix. So a target market, it begins with market segmentation. So what needs to happen is we have to figure out what markets or markets will our product or service meet the needs of. So we had already previously talked about demographics, which is your vital statistics, your age, your location, which goes into the geographic boundaries, but the things about you, your population characteristics, as well as psychographics. Psycho meaning behavioral, so the way you do things, the way you behave, why you buy things, your consumer behavior. So then we have to look at the retailing mix. So you remember the marketing mix, which are the 4 P's: product, place, promotion, and price. Well, now we're going to take the 4 P's of the marketing mix and add 2 more for the retail mix, which would be presentation and personnel. So managers have to make sure that the positioning is aligned with target customers' expectations. So not only are we worrying about the 4 P's, but now we have to worry about presentation and personnel. So we're going to figure out what those mean and how the parts of the marketing mix play into this. So right here we go. Product. That is a width and depth of the product assortment. So think about Cheerios. So many different types of Cheerios. Then you might have gluten-free Cheerios, and then you might have blueberry gluten-free Cheerios. So it's how wide or deep your product mixes are. Place, distribution, how you're getting it to your customers. So with retail, it's your location and your hours. Are you open 24/7? Really, not a places are open 24/7 here during the COVID-19 crisis. But previously we had Walmart, Turkey Hill, that were open 24/7. But now a lot of stores close by midnight. Promotion, so the advertising, publicity, and public relations. Price, that one's pretty self-explanatory. Presentation, the layout and atmosphere of your store, or in non-store retailing, it would be your website or the TV show, QVC, or your vending machine. So some vending machines are a lot nicer than others. And personnel, the customer service and personal selling you receive when you go to the store. So product, obviously that's the first element in the retailing mix. It's also called the product assortment or the merchandise mix. So a lot of online stores are able to have like a smaller store because they don't have to have the brick and mortar store to open with. So it says that it could have a single product line that could never attract enough foot traffic to support a traditional brick and mortar store. So maybe you only sell one certain product. Maybe you only sell light switch covers, outlet covers. Actually, there are places like that. There's also a website. It used to be a catalog. It was the Register company, where all they sold were register covers for like your heating vents. So those are the types of things that would be online that you would see. Promotion. So your advertising, that is the what a company pays for to get their word out. Public relations and publicity is the unpaid. It's unpaid advertising. You don't pay for it, it just happens. So it could be bad or good. It would be stories in the newspaper, testimonials that you didn't ask for, so things like that. And then sales promotion. So coupons, and we'll get into all that, but sales promotion can be coupons. It could be customer cards that like get punched, like your Dunkin'. Once you reach 200 points, you get a free drink. So things like that. Now there's one thing here, and that's brand cannibalization. So let's say we have Coca-Cola and we have Diet Coke, and then Coke Zero comes out. Well, Coke Zero had the potential to cannibalize or eat Diet Coke because Diet Coke is advertised as a low-calorie soda, that has less sugar. Well, so does Coke Zero. So why wouldn't it cannibalize Diet Coke? So that's the type of thing. It's the result of the reduction of sales for one brand as the result of the introduction of a new product or promotion of a current brand by another brand. So that is when your company uh, outsells itself. Place. So when you choose a location, you have to look at the economic growth potential. Like, could you grow there? You got to look at your competition, the geography. Look at Dunkin' Donuts in Shamokin. There's a problem with the geography there. Even prior to the COVID-19 crisis, 90% of its sales were through the drive-through. So are they really sacrificing much by not being open? Not necessarily. We'll get to that in just a moment on what we aren't experiencing, but it is so popular that it causes traffic jams with drive-through lines that are 12 to 16 cars deep, causing traffic backed up on state highways and everything. So, however, when Dunkin' Donuts was opened in the early to mid 1980s, it was actually Mr. Donut when it was opened, but then Dunkin' Donuts bought out all of the Mr. Donut locations. Um, it there were buildings there, they were torn down. They put it in because Dunkin' Donuts was known as a donut shop that you went to enjoy donuts. So it focused on the product, and the product at that time was really donuts, but then you could also get a coffee to go with it. Well, what happened with Dunkin' Donuts is it became so popular with its coffee that coffee took over, and coffee is the bigger seller. So instead of being called Dunkin' Donuts anymore, it's just simply called Dunkin'. I don't know if you noticed that. I know you noticed it, Zach, that Dunkin' Donuts is now just known as Dunkin'. Um, so everything changed with it. And place, because it's such a drive-through, you order your drink mostly. I mean, yeah, you get donuts, sandwiches, bacon, hash browns, but still, it's focused on the drink, so that's a drive-through thing. A destination store. So it's a place you go to the Monroe Marketplace. Well, Target is a destination store. So you go to Target, but it's one of the main stores there. You plan your trip. So if I need to go to Target, then maybe I'll go to Kohl's. Now, some people, destination store might be Kohl's. Um, Stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, Home Goods, those stores have taken advantage of being located near a destination store such as Target or Kohl's because they know that consumers are there. They are planning on going into Target, buying, their weekly goods, but then through their advertising and being in a good place, buy a destination store, they can get your business. So Target would be the destination store. A grocery store could be a destination store. Think of your anchor stores and malls. Boscov's is a destination store. It's a place you need to go. Now, to teens, I would say that American Eagle might be a destination store. So you get the point. Price. So really have to choose the right price to sell your products. It's key. If you do not have the right pricing strategy, your business could go under. Look at Hollister. Hollister is very expensive. It's Target or teens and young adults. It's based out of Southern California. It's part of the Abercrombie brands, but they had a higher pricing strategy. And a lot of parents didn't want to go in to Hollister because of a reason. We'll get to that. But it just didn't work. It was too high priced. Abercrombie's also closing stores. Pier 1 just announced today that it was closing all of its stores permanently due to the COVID-19 crisis. Well, they were priced high, and when you compare places like that against say Home Goods, which is cheaper, well, obviously, people are going to go to a cheaper place. Presentation. Okay, here we go. This is the store. This is the overall impression conveyed by a store's physical layout, decor, and surroundings. So it has to look at the employee type and how many employees they have. So some stores have full service counters that would help you. Some stores you go to and you might never see an employee. Merchandise type and how much they have. The fixture type, sound, odors, visual factors, the layout, so how a store is configured. Target has a lot of theories about how their stores are configured. So we will look at that a little bit tomorrow about the layout of a store. But when I worked at a clothing store at the mall called B Moss, it was a women's clothing store. Um, I learned a lot about the presentation of a store and how it can affect selling. So the first thing that I learned was certain scents in a store will sell more clothes than others. So they would have Glade plugins all around the store in the outlets of clean linen or fresh linen, which would be the smell of freshly laundered clothes, and that would promote the increased sales of clothes. And oddly enough, yes, there are scientific studies that back this. Another one is sound. So some stores you go in and they have their own soundtrack. I know Wise, they have their own soundtrack. The same songs come on. I remember when I worked at Wise in 1997, 98, 99, that Paula Cole's I Don't Want to Wait was one of the main songs that was played over and over again at Wise's, and to this day, I don't know it as the Dawson's Creek song, I know it as part of the Wise soundtrack. So that's another thing. And visual factors like the lighting of a store. Hollister had dim lights. One thing that they should have known better is that dim lights do not sell clothing as well, nor do very, very bright lights. You have to have the right lighting in a store in order to sell items. All right, let's go on here. Personnel. These are the salespeople in the store. So when I worked in retail, we used to we really did suggestion selling or, oh, well, are you going to need jewelry to go along with this outfit? Or would you like to buy a cardigan to go with your dress? Um, and so we just had to know the products and sell them. My husband was working in retail for a long time. They would often at cell phone stores try to talk customers into buying a newer phone, which was higher priced because they worked on commission. I really didn't work on commission. I got a thrill out of meeting my sales goals every day. I believe I had a sales goal every day of $200. And if you had a sale of more than 200 in the store I worked in, it was called a super sale. And I had like an award for the most super sales because I was able to get people to buy lots of clothes and match it all up and keep taking them things that matched. So that's what I like to do. All right, so that is it for this part of the chapter. We are going to have an assignment tomorrow that I hope you'll enjoy, and we'll see you again. Bye.